Child, we back again. Okay. We are back again. All right. So what in the world is going on here? Child. So come on in, kick off your shoes, relax your feet. What's up? Excuse me. No, but seriously though, when you guys come in, please hit that like button so we can go ahead and get into the things. Um, I hope all is well. It's been a long day, child. I wasn't planning on doing nothing but doing my interview tonight, but baby, it has been one of those kind of evenings, and I just got to bring you guys the stuff. So, with that being said, you guys, if like I said, come on in, hit that like button, and we're gonna go ahead and get started. Um, Tasha's still talking, and I don't know why. Didn't she get the memo? Did she? Okay. Did Natasha Scott not get the memo from everybody? Everybody has told that woman, girl, please go somewhere and be quiet. We have all told her, girl, please go somewhere and be quiet. And I am not understanding why she is not understanding what we are telling her. And we're telling her for her own good. We're giving her some good stuff. And I'm not understanding why she is not heeding to what we are telling her. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let me say hi to the people, and we're going to talk about what she had to say today. And we're even going to get into the fact that Tammy Roman, y'all know Tammy Roman, Basketball Wives, Real World. Now she's like doing a lot of acting. Well, she's always been doing acting, but she's like got some really great roles. She's on Family Business. She's on the Pat Show. She's got her own reality show, basically like a cheaters slash situation. So she's doing big things, but maybe she even has something to say. So we're going to get into it. Complex Ken, hey, I'm so sick of her. She blames everyone but herself. Then sat on Watch What Happens Live and tried to walk back the fact that her and Rocky have an open man. Child, she sure did. She did try to walk all that stuff back, honey. All right. Oh shoot. Wait a minute. Okay. What's up, Danny? Yes, my mod, Danny. You guys, there's merch available. Y'all go visit the Etsy store. We're gonna be adding some child. The merch is coming. Okay, the merch is coming. Hey, Lemon Kush. Hey, Cool Game. Well, it's not coming. It's here. Hey, Andre. Before we start, any word on Glory of God? Did they get that? We go. Thank you, Andre. I'm gonna come right back. Let me say hi to everybody, and then I'll give you that. Hey, Miss Kiki. Hey, Sims Almados. I want to give her a single. I have a stream, but now I'm not. Hey Xavier, hey Amber, hey Phil, Auntie Dee, what's going on? Hey Peace, what's up, my love? She's also on Truth Be Told with Octavia Spencer. Okay, see, she doing the thing. Thank you, Xavier. Xavier, Tracy Wilson, Tasha really going to pass out when Tamika's single drop Friday. Yes, Tamika has a single with Method Man. Listen, I don't care. I'm buying it just because it got Method Man on it, because y'all know I love me some Method Man, baby. And then I saw a little clip from the video. Baby, he in the video too. Ah. Is it me or the audio video sync off? It might be a little off. My bad. Girl, 10 toes down made one post. Oh, what he say? Hold on. What 10 toes down say? Hold on, y'all. If y'all don't know who 10 toes down is, that is Bishop Whitehead. Hold on, I gotta be nosy and see what he done said, child. I gotta see what he done said. He gonna make me mess up my situation, but I gotta be nosy. I gotta be nosy. Child. Bishop. Let me see what he said. Oh, he did a little video. This ain't him. This here right here? Cause he in a whole different outfit. Huh.
God is allowing a stage to be set so you can see his glory.
I listen to him later. So I ain't got time for him right now. But the update, the last time I talked to Pam, he was still in the church. Um, he was still in the church, but this is post. He's in a totally different outfit. He's got on a suit and a bow tie. I guess he had an event tonight, maybe. I don't know. But he just posted it 2 minutes ago. So I'll listen to that later, child. But last I talked to Pam, and I was about little like between 7 and 7:30. I talked to her. He was still in the church, so that was about 2 hours ago. He was still there, and he had actually packed up some stuff and put it in his car, but but he was still there. So I guess he finally left, child. But again, I'll listen to that later, child. I ain't got the energy for that. We're here to talk about Tasha Crazy Tale. Now, Tasha did another interview up in Chicago, and we're gonna listen to it. We're gonna talk a little bit about it, child. Um, I really wish that Tasha would listen to me and just shut up. I just, I really just wish that she would just stop talking. Just stop talking. But she won't. So let's listen to it. She did an interview, and it's not that long, y'all. It's like a 15-minute interview, and y'all know how we do over here. We're gonna play and then we're gonna talk. We're gonna play and then we're gonna talk. All right. So let's get into it.
Number one for hip hop and R&B, and like you never know who's gonna stop by and hang out with the best damn morning show in Chicago. And today we have artist Tasha Scott is in the building. Good to be here, man. Man, it's good to see you. Brought all this beautiful weather with you. I mean, so let's talk about it. Gospel Project. Yes. Your label. Yeah. That's swag. Yeah. That's dope. Speak on that. I mean, I've been in the game 30 years. I learned a lot. Becoming a student in the game, you have to understand what ownership is and also what investing in yourself is. And so that's what I did. I wanted to make sure that I owned my masters. I wanted to make sure that I had control over my music. And so that was just real big for me. And signing myself to myself, That's gotta feel good. How much you gonna pay me? What you want, girl? Well, I need this, that. Well, we can't keep what you gonna do. And then too, when it comes down to the creative part of it, you don't have to ask somebody, I think this song should be what it's gonna be. Like I was able to put the songs out the way that I wanted to. You ever should night yourself? What you gonna do this? Oh, this lady blood. You see, I'm in the building. That radio station.
So the first question that I have is this. On the show, they said that she was signed to Motown Gospel. So is it more like she has a distribution deal with Motown Gospel, but she has started her own record label? And listen, let me say this, however I might feel about, Tasha's behavior and things that she may or may not have done, it ain't a bad idea. It's not I've told you guys before, the way the current game is now in music, uh if she did start her own label and make sure she owned her masters, I ain't mad at her. I'm not mad at her. Now, the question I do have is, did Motown sever their relationship with her and she was forced to sort of do it herself? That's sort of a question I have. But again, I'm not mad at her if that's what she did. But that ain't what they told us on the show. That is not what they told us on the show. Y'all put in the chat what y'all think. Y'all put in the chat what y'all think it is. Okay. Let's keep going. Maybe she started her own imprint under Motown. I mean, you know what? I'm not doing this with him.
We talked about that a second ago. We had Chloe Bailey here earlier this week, and I was saying a lot of artists don't do the radio run anymore. And you said you've been in the game 30 years, so we're around the same age. I remember being in high school singing "Kick Off the School" and "Relax Your Feet," "Party on Top" and FKB. So we're going to just kick off. We like you so much. So explain that for us, because some of us are like torn, because I like this run for you because it's all about you, but the Xscape enemy still wants to know you're a part of Xscape. I'm definitely a part of Xscape. I created the name. That's the mothership. That's where I come from. I will never forget where I come from. But it's time for me to do music. I've always wanted to do music. I know Candy didn't want to do music because she always felt like if we didn't surpass what we did in the beginning, then don't do it. But
and again, I can understand that too. She said, listen, I want to do music. Candy doesn't want to do new music because Candy is afraid to fail as it relates to Xscape. I don't think Candy has a problem releasing solo music, but she's like, listen, I don't want us to come back, release an album and it flop, and then everybody be like, see, they should have just stopped. But again, Y'all did do music without Candy. So once again, I don't understand why you had to say Candy's name. I don't understand why Candy is a part of this. Y'all released music without Candy. So, girl, anyway.
Music is never predicated on sales. It's because I'm passionate about what I do. The other girl.
Child, we know it ain't predicated on sales because your gospel album did paper. So we know.
Like, no, we don't fall victim to what she said. I want to do music. So that's why I'm here. Okay. Yeah. Oh, you want to do new music? Yes. Gotcha. Yeah, I don't want to do the old songs over and over again. Yeah, no. So, and I have something to say. So why gospel? Like, what made you choose the gospel name? Well, I mean, you started secular. Yeah. Well, I actually started in the gospel world. That's where we're from. That's where I grew up. That's my inspiration. I grew up listening to the Clark sisters and so many beautiful people that came out in that time, and that's all I could listen. I was in church. Our religion was that. Yeah. So I brought that with me. If you listen to Living in Vain on the albums, it's because I brought a little bit of that with me when I went. But it's just part of that's my roots. So I'm going back to my roots. This is what I love. Even when I sing with that type of conviction because of my faith. And so it's about the music to me. It's about going back to God. I've had so many conversations with Him while filming and just in life. So, I have something to say when it comes down to.
And again, I don't have a problem with her doing gospel music, baby. Do whatever moves you. Do whatever you think is gonna motivate you and get you with. I don't know why my lighting seems off, but do what moves you, boo. I ain't mad about that.
I'm actually happy you wrote that down because I didn't think about it. Like when you guys are on tour, it's just your past records. So this is more about your passion of you are a singer, you want to create. So that to me helps me live with the separate. It's like parents, like you have parents. Yes, because when people have to go to college, they got to go out and do other things. Like you can't just be stagnant. I think sometimes we put that stigma on people. And that's kind of sad to think about it. When God gives you a gift, it's not meant to just be like this. You should be able to kind of flourish and do some things you want to do. Not to say to leave, but sometimes you got to go break out a little bit and then come back. Are you guys in a
So she said that like she coming back.
Space right now because I think they might be in Chicago. I think literally today. I think they have a show somewhere else. That's what I'm hearing. Yes.
Girl, so you know SWV is doing. I mean, Lord, I said SWV child. Xscape is doing a show, and she gonna say, "Yeah, that's what I hear." You in Chicago, girl? What you mean? That's what you hear?
I didn't know anything about the show. Somebody told me about the show. That's just my truth. So that's where it gets confused as a fan because it's like, are y'all like you're in town, they're in town. There's a show tonight. And you didn't know about it, so that means you won't appear. Y'all in the same city. Yeah. So are y'all talking? What are the conversations? Like, are y'all family? So I won't say y'all enemies. Right, no, but enemies. Yeah, because that is blood. But what is the state of y'all friendship right now? Because y'all both were in the city, and you said you heard they got a show tonight. Yeah, I heard they have a show tonight. I've been hearing that they have a show. But I was not invited to the show mainly because they're still dealing with a promoter that threatened my husband's life, and I said I'm not doing the show, so I stand on what I believe in. So they continue to do the show.
Now, granted, just to refresh y'all's memory, this promoter is the same promoter that exposed those text messages where Rocky was getting them alleged kickbacks, and a court. She said that the promoter threatened Rocky's life. I heard that the promoter did threaten Rocky's life, but that was after Rocky threatened his life. Like they were arguing. It wasn't a one-sided conversation. Rocky said some stuff, the promoter said some stuff. But once again, this is Tasha's truth. She said she will not do any shows that promoter sets up for them. So, girl, okay.
Some things you gotta just stand.
But let's be clear. If you didn't know about the shows because you're not in the group chat no more, the group text anymore because you changed your phone number and don't nobody have it but Tiny. Okay?
So you talked about talent.
Allegedly.
And how you can't keep your talent in a box or in a cage and you stepping out on faith doing the gospel album. But talk about how your talent has also put you in a position to do a plant-based cookbook. Like the whole singing thing, how it leads into a lifestyle thing. She's so small. Yeah, like, help the brother out, man. I need some plant-based cooking. Well, back in the day, I was always known as the fluffy girl from Xscape. They would put that stigma on me, and I didn't like it. I felt like my mother named me Tasha, and that's just not what it was. And plus, I wanted a healthier lifestyle. So as I started to understand what eating was, and they talk about lifespan is actually health span, is what you put in your body. And I'm like, okay, so I stopped eating pork, stopped eating chicken, and stopped eating beef. And I saw the effects that it had on me, and I started to do cardio. And so I started creating my own little recipes. And then I got with my husband and my son, and we kind of just put some things together. So when we went on tour in 2017, 2018, we had so many people at the meet and greets, like, girl, like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm just eating right. And then after that, 2020 came, and then, the pandemic hit. And I'm like, Lord, I can't sing right now. I got to walk in my gift. How do I do it? And he was like, take to the cookbook. Everybody needs it. So you went cold turkey, no pun intended. No beef, no chicken. Yes, but I didn't do all at one time. It was baby steps. And so I like to tell people that it's not just you just get it, because then you feel like you're being directed. Yeah, I like a good sandwich.
I want to talk about that, because when I stopped eating meat, I'm just eating broccoli and potatoes.
Yeah, but
all right. So congratulations to her on the cookbook. Y'all can go buy it. I'm not even saying that to be funny. I am not saying that to be funny. Y'all go buy her cookbook, and she actually has some cooking videos on her YouTube channel. So y'all go check those out. But we're gonna fast forward through the food.
Escaping SWV. Yes. And then, we saw the whole conversation. I know you're probably tired of talking about it, the whole conversation of money being stolen. But the first question is, will you do another? Is there going to be a part 2 of this reality show? It's not going to be part 2 for me. No, I mean, when you come.
So she's not going to do the show. She said she's not doing a season 2, and let's talk about why.
Say 2 supergroups are going to be celebrated, and it does not end that way. Like, you got everybody beefing on social media. The nerve of a black production company with Mona Me coming in and not celebrating black women. It's just tearing down and the whole.
Now it's Mona's fault. Mona has created a situation where we are tearing down black women, and how dare a black production company create a show that tears down black women. So it's all Mona's fault. Now listen. If you ain't know Mona for her works before you signed on to do the show, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, Mona been doing Mona. Okay, she has been who she is, and she has produced what she's produced. Okay.
Out of 7 women, I was being attacked every single day. So it's just that thing for me. Like, when you say you're going to do something, we should be able to do it. I think the fans have been slighted, and shame on her, shame on the production for doing that. We didn't get to a tour. We didn't get to music. So what did we do? What was the end goal? Like, what are we doing here? Did you?
Okay, y'all, let me tell you what. Y'all know what I can't stand. Y'all know what I can't stand. I cannot stand somebody who's going to piss on my leg and tell me it's raining. Ma'am, we sat there and saw on the show. Now, I understand editing. But we sat there and saw on the show that every time them people asked you about doing a tour, I got to pray on that. They asked you about doing the music, I got to pray on that. Hell, when they asked you about just doing one show, I don't know, I got to pray on that. So don't sit here and act like you was all gung ho to do a tour and make and do this whole situation when we saw you from the first episode. It's not like we evolved into that. We saw from the first episode that you already was feeling some kind of way. Now I get it, her and her sister were not in a good space, but even before they had that fight at the end of episode 1, when they had that lunch, when they all came together and they had that lunch, you was stank at the lunch. You walked in the door with an attitude. Your sister spoke to you. You barely spoke back to her. And again, I get it. You and your sister were going through stuff, but y'all been sisters for 40 something years. Y'all have fought before. Y'all have had arguments before. Y'all have had disagreements before. Please don't sit here and act like you walked into that show with good intentions, because I'm not going to believe it. So don't sit here and act like Mona Scott Young, she exploited this whole situation, and she took this situation out of proportion, and she created these problems. No, ma'am. These problems were there. Can we go all the way back to the beginning? You left your sister outside at a venue where they had to stop the concert early because there was a pow going on in the audience. Your sister could not get in her dressing room. She is standing outside in her costume, and we see how Xscape dresses on stage. She is outside of her costume, and you and your entourage left her there. And when your sister said something in the group chat, now according to Tamika, and I believe her, Tamika said she wasn't even talking to you when she told somebody to kiss her ass. She said she wasn't even talking to you. She was talking to the assistant slash road manager. That's who she was talking to. And you inserted yourself in the conversation she was having with the other woman. But even if she did tell you to kiss her ass, that was enough for you to walk into that meeting and be stank. Did you not hear SWV on the other side of the table say, why y'all leaving money on the floor? Y'all need to get past this. Y'all need to grow up. Y'all need to mature. Had you been able to handle the situation with your sister with some level of maturity, we would have never known about that $30,000. Well, I got another theory on that 30,000 on that situation, but based on what we saw, based on what we saw. Now let's keep listening. We're gonna keep listening.
You guys, okay, did you guys film those scenes? Because, for me, I'm be honest, I have been approached for reality TV so many times, and I've always declined because I know what it is. Like, I feel like we kind of know when you do reality TV, they're going to show the worst of you and not the best of you. So when you went in,
right, and her niece,
you're
right.
not thinking they were going to try to find mess because that's what reality TV is. Yeah, but we at the end of the day, we had already gone through the worst of the times with the first still kicking it. Okay. So we were getting past it. Did I have reservations? Of course I did. But when she started to say, hey, we're going to celebrate y'all, y'all going to do a tour, we're going to talk about how do a show, how you got to do the wardrobe and the music. I'm like, that's beautiful, because sometimes you do have banter back and forth with that. But when you come in and I'm being attacked every day and it never got to the music, it's like, what was this all about? And
Ma'am, again, we just gonna rewrite history. We just gonna rewrite history. Phil, I agree with you on that. That's why I pulled up off of that, because I agree. I do think Tamika was going. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I do think Tamika was gonna find a way to tell us about that $30,000. But I feel like that's her way of fighting, because she doesn't feel like she has a voice with her sister. But y'all, that's another conversation, another video for another day. But let me tell you something. Once again, you said that Mona Scott Young said we're gonna do a tour. We're gonna celebrate Black women. We're gonna show what it's like to put a show together and a tour together and wardrobe and all these different things. I'm sorry, we saw all of that. First of all, that is what the same thing that people are beating Candy up for. She just confirmed. She said, listen, they were talking about a tour. That's what Candy said. Candy said, listen, they was talking about a tour. So the reason why it was important for us to get these things, like who's going to headline, who's opening, who's closing, what's the set list, what's the budget. The reason why it was important to have those conversations on the front end is because they were saying that this was hopefully going to evolve into a tour. The idea was that this would be the springboard for SWV Escape Tour. It dissolved, and part of the reason why it dissolved was because of you. We're not gonna sit here and forget that your ass was down in Nashville behind your group's back signing record deals. We're not gonna forget that. Listen, they showed you in the studio, ma'am. They showed you in the studio. A co-headliner tour, that's fine too, Phil. But I'm just saying, she's acting like Mona didn't show these things, and they did. And we do know that there was a lot of footage that they didn't show us, which I don't know why, but for whatever reason they didn't. But Mona showed us these things.
And none of the things that happened until we started filming. None of the craziness. So it's like, was it set up? What do we do this for? So now, you have families who have to heal. I was gonna say, because this is your sister. Oh, you have families who have to heal.
She said there was none of this craziness until they started filming. The whole Vegas thing happened. I'm sorry. The whole Vegas situation happened. You had already gotten your own stylist. Remember, she already had, when they got ready to sit down and look at wardrobe. Remember, Tamika brought up the fact that Tasha already had her own stylist that made her own wardrobe. She wasn't even using her same stylist, which is part of the reason why her ass didn't get the. Well, I believe she got the memo, but part of the reason why she was totally different at the Soul Train Awards because you're not using the same person that they're using. So again, let's not act like you wasn't already distancing yourself before the show started.
Now, you have families who have to heal. I was gonna say because this is your sister in real life. Like we're enjoying you because of the music, but I got the same mama. Like, how has this affected? And just to break it down for those, I think people are aware of the whole $30,000 situation of you getting her money. Mm-hmm. She didn't get her money. Mm-hmm. I know you talked about it before, but just for the people in Chicago who just didn't hear that explanation, what is your side to that story? Because she claims money went to you and I believe your husband, $30,000. I didn't take anything from my sister. I would never steal from her. Like I said before, a lot of things that I saw was when it started to film. I never heard of this. Me and my sister been together all this time. We've done shows, made millions of dollars together. When the cameras come on, this was what happens. And so we still had to guide clarity. When somebody accuses you of anything, why aren't you talking to me? Yeah. Why are you saying things to other people? Why are you talking to people who have nothing to do with nothing? So is this for television? Because I've heard her tell people that, when the show is over, it's going to be done. No, because you now have created a situation that I have to go and do what I'm doing now. Right. I didn't do anything. It's animosity. So, and I get it. People always talk about ratings, and I love watching, the drama. But at the end of the day, for what? Right. Like,
Again, nobody's asking the question that I want them to ask. Oh, I really want somebody to ask her, forget about Tamika's money. I really want somebody to ask her, so you said that the two of y'all were living together at your mama's house because everybody was down and out. At what point, when you started getting your money, did you realize Tamika wasn't getting her money? Or did Tamika get her money and she's lying about you stealing the money? Because at the end of the day, y'all all got the same checks. Candy, Tamika, Latasha, Tiny. Y'all all got the same checks. Why isn't anybody asking that question? The question I want to know the answer to was, if the two of y'all were living in the same house because y'all was so down and out and y'all was so broke that y'all had to move back in with your mama, with your husbands and your kids, when you started getting, because remember they said it wasn't one check, they were getting multiple checks, $5,000, $10,000, $15,000. When you started getting these checks out of nowhere, falling from the sky, and you started being able to pay your bills, put a down payment on an apartment or put a down payment on a house, when you started, your money started looking up. Remember, Tamika said she was pregnant at the time and had a daughter in college. You never had a conversation with your sister about this money? I know I would have. If me and my sister get an inheritance out of nowhere, a long lost aunt that neither one of us knew about, and I get a check in the mail for $20,000, and it says this is to the children, the grand nieces, nephews, or whatever, you think I'm not gonna get on the phone and call my sister and be like, "Girl, did you get your money? Girl, did you get that money?" Like, I absolutely am. I really need somebody to ask that question. I don't understand why nobody is asking her that question, because she keep acting like she didn't know nothing about the money. But you got the same money. It wasn't like that was a Tamika thing that she got from a royalty from a movie she did. It was the same money that everybody got. I don't understand why nobody's asking that question. Phil, Tamika said that she was living in New York at the time. I'm saying, and I believe Tamika's, let me be clear. I believe Tamika's version of the story. But what I'm saying is, Tasha's version of the story is that Tamika wasn't living in New York and that they were all living together in her mama's house. That's what Tasha said when she did her little response video. Not the one that she was crying on Instagram, but the one she posted on her YouTube channel. That's what she said. I'm going by her version of the story. Now, honestly, I believe Tamika was living in New York and them checks was going to Atlanta, but that's her part of this, her side of the story. You know what I'm saying? Child. Okay.
I understand sometimes the truth, nobody wants to eat the truth when the lies more entertaining. So, entertain. That's not, my soul is not for sale. That's all I can say. Wow. It's not.
Well, I do want to ask about your Maid Girl Foundation.
You know, I love how you come say it.
Let's talk about something positive, man. It's very dope. The Maid Girl Foundation. What made you want to start that?
Just letting girls know and women know that there's a possibility.
All right, now
To be great.
I hate for us. I'm gonna let Tasha say something positive because I feel like we just gonna highlight the negative. So she gonna talk about her foundation. I'm gonna let y'all hear some positive. We almost done, but I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all hear the positive. I'm gonna let y'all hear the positive.
Successful. So many times we look in the mirror, we're not happy with what we see. I know I was one of the culprits for that. And we're beautiful, you know, in our own skin. It takes time sometimes to realize that, but I want people to understand that I have that possibility, and I want to help in any way I can. That's why I have the clothing line. I have the book. I'm doing gospel music, inspirational.
No, that's not what Mama Diane said. That's not what Mama Diane said. Mama Diane said, wait a minute. Mama Diane did not say that. Mama Diane said that Tamika was living in New York. Tasha said Tamika was living in the house. Tamika said she was living in New York, and Mama Diane said she was living in New York at the time.
That's what it's about. It's about still walking in purpose, but doing things positive. So I want to give back. I have my label. I want to sign artists. I want to school y'all on what it really is, because when you sign a contract, it's not just getting money. You got to grind. You got to put the work in. So just being that.
So I know you say y'all.
Yeah. Oh, what you rapping?
Well, you know, I sing.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Don't do it.
I sing.
Okay. So I let y'all hear a little bit of the positive. Now, something we learned, we didn't know that Tasha had her own record label. That's news to all of us, I believe. I believe all of us, you know, we didn't none of I didn't know that. I didn't know that, you know. But listen, y'all. So Tammy Roman, and we're gonna kiki on this, and I got an update on Whitehead. So Andre, if you still here, give me a second. I got an update on Whitehead. But um Tammy Roman stepped into the shade room and left a comment underneath the video. Y'all know how they show the little clips. Uh Thank you, stopping it before he sang. Child. So this is what Tammy Roman had to say, child. Tammy Roman said, at some point, you have to step back and say, one, I'm sorry. Two, my sister didn't know about the checks. I was in a tight what? I was in a tight spot. My husband set up a hustle and I didn't oppose it. Three, I can make payments to pay you back. Four, I really don't like Candy and she doesn't care for me, and that's okay. But we made history together and I'm not professional enough to make this bread now. Five, I did the show to use it as a platform for my solo project. I've seen love and hip hop. I knew what time it was. Six, my husband cheated and I'm going to stick beside him. Now, you know, I'm with you. Listen. I done already told you that she know Rocky do what he do and she just lets him do it, child. Seven, God blessed me with Xscape, so I'm going to honor that journey. A compromise for me is I won't sing on the overly sexualized songs, but who can I run to is a thumbs up. Eight, my gospel album title is Let He Without Sin. Nine, I'ma stop doing interviews. Can we say nine one more time for the people in the back? Nine is I'm gonna stop doing interviews. Hold on, I'm gonna say it one more time. I'ma stop doing interviews. Girl, just be quiet. Then Funky Dineva came up under that, and Funky Dineva said exactly nothing more, nothing less. I think all of us can agree with most of that. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I think all of us can agree with most of that. Maybe not all of us. I shouldn't say all of us. I think most of us can agree with most of that because I can't speak for everybody. Okay, it ain't every. Y'all, it's a mess. It truly is a mess. Um, Especially when all you're gonna do is spread the same lie. Stay home, Tasha. Well, not only does she spread the same lie, but she um but she adds to it. Now it's Mona Scott Young and the production company. And how dare a black woman exploit her own people. You know what I'm saying? It's like, girl, she's never going to admit to stealing the money. Hey, Trey Jorlane. Mwah. She's never going to admit to stealing that money, y'all. And the only way I think that it will ever come out is if Tamika decides to press charges, and she's not. She's not going to press charges. If she was going to press charges, she would have. She's not going to press charges, and that's why I agree with Phil that I do think we would have found out about that money one way or the other, because I think that was Tamika's way of fighting back. I think that was Tamika's way of fighting back. Um, I think Tasha didn't have a choice. Rocky calling the shots. He think if they talk enough, people will believe him. Rocky definitely thinks that he can talk you out of anything. He definitely thinks he's got the gift of gab. He absolutely feels that. Yeah, I agree 100%. I'm gonna let her blame Mona a little bit because Mona has been messy. I'm gonna let her blame Mona a little bit too. Listen, but what I'm saying is we know Mona for her works. We know Mona for her works. Like you expect Mona to do something different than what Mona already does. That's what Mona does. That's what Mona gives. We can't expect her to give us anything different. Now, the other thing is, Tasha, you gave it to her. Again, you showed up with the stank attitude. You showed up with the hidden agenda. You showed up hiding a major decision like a solo deal from your group members. The reality of the situation is nobody would have begrudged her. Well, maybe Tamika, now that we find out that, and maybe that's why she hid it, because now we find out that her and Tamika was supposed to do this deal together. But before we found out that little tidbit, nobody was mad at you for doing gospel. But she keeps saying all this because I want to sing gospel. Girl, this ain't about you wanting to sing no damn gospel. This is not about you wanting to sing gospel. And I really wish you would stop that. This is not about you wanting to sing gospel, ma'am. This is about you not being honest and not communicating with your group. Forget about the $30,000. That's listen. That's between you and Tamika. And like I said, Tamika ain't gonna never press charges, and that's her business. But at the end of the day, you did not communicate effectively with your group. And honestly, y'all, I told y'all this before. As long as she's with Rocky, ain't nothing gonna change. And I really don't see her leaving him. I don't. Now, I ain't go never is a strong word, so I'm never saying never, but I'm saying not right now. I don't think Candy would have been happy as well. I think Candy would have looked at the reconciliation as a way to get a solo deal. Tasha has poor communication skills. I don't think Candy would have had a problem with it had everything been communicated properly. I really don't, because let's be clear, everybody used this show as a way to build and springboard something else. I do not think Candy would have had a problem with it. Think about it. Everybody except for Taj. If you go down the list, everybody except for Taj used this show as a way to springboard something else. Let's go down the list. Well, Tiny too, but Tiny don't count, child, because Tiny, she got her whole thing going on with. Actually, yes, they did. Yes, they did. If you paid attention, every time not every time, because every time is a strong word, but if you paid attention, more than once, they brought up Tiny and her show on her family show. Remember, VH1 canceled their show when those allegations were going on between with her and Tip. But they've since been cleared of those allegations, and I think they want their show back. So if you pay attention, Candy brought it up. Zanique brought it up. Candy asked her about it on Speak on It. Do you miss being on reality TV? We miss seeing your kids. We loved you and your kids. So Tamika used the show as a way to possibly get her show back, or maybe get a show on Bravo. Hey newbie, how you doing? Tamika, every chance we got, we saw them seasonings, we saw that cookbook, and Tamika made sure to let us know that every time we saw Tiny in the kitchen making one of them drinks, it came from Tamika's cookbook, and Tamika's cookbook was right there on the counter. So Tamika was using it as a way to springboard her situation. Every time we saw Candy film anywhere other than with them, she was either at the studio and we heard a new song, or she was at one of her restaurants. She was either at Blaze, and they made sure we saw the front of Blaze, And when she was at the Candy Factory, we always heard a song. We heard like 3 songs from Candy. If you look at SWV, Lily was using it as an opportunity to let us know about her book. Her erotic stories. Lily talked about that book 3-4 times. Coco used the show to springboard her son. She used the show to springboard Jalen. As much as she fussing about Jalen going to college and she don't want him to drop out of college, every chance she gets, she is using her platform to give her son exposure. We heard him sing on the show. We saw him with her on the show. Okay? Everybody except for Taj used that show as a way to springboard into something else. And there's nothing wrong with that. So I don't think Candy would have begrudged Tasha that if Tasha had been honest and they would have went about it the right way. Now, do I think it would have opened up some old wounds? Yes, I do. I think it would have given them some deja vu. Yes. But let's remember, it's different now. It's not the same as it was when Tasha did it to them the first time. It's not the same. Yes, they're doing shows from here and there, but they're not working on a new album. They don't have a record deal. Remember, Candy said when Tasha did this, they were renegotiating their record deal to try to get a new record deal, and they were literally in the studio making new music. That ain't what they doing right now. So I don't think it's the same. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. I don't think it's the same. I really hope they have a second season. I don't think they'll have a second season because all of them said they really didn't want to do it to begin with, and I really think whatever Bravo offered them, I just think it was. I think it was just too good to turn down because Candy said she didn't really want to do it. Tamika said she was hesitant about doing it. Tasha said she was hesitant about doing it. I just think that whatever Mona, I bet you she didn't have no problem with Mona when Mona was cutting them checks. But whatever Mona was offering, I just think she couldn't turn it down. I just think it was too good to be too good to be true, child. Child. And she did. She told everybody to go out and buy the solo prize. She told everybody to go out and buy um Tasha's album. She sure did. She sure did. Oh yeah, no problem. Yeah, definitely, Phil. Definitely. I believe when one of Candy speak on the show, yeah, she did. She asked people to go buy it. Tamika asked people to go buy it when she did her video. She asked people to support her sister. Again, the only thing and I don't even think that would happen because I don't think Tasha would agree to do it. The only way therapy works is if you are willing to be honest, and I just don't think. I think Tamika's ready to be honest. I think Tamika's ready to be honest about all the things that she did, whether it made her look good or bad, whether it was a good look for her or a bad look for her. I think she's ready to put it all out there. But I don't think Tasha is. So I was going to say the only way I could see a season 2 is if it's about them reconciling and working this out. But that's not going to work if Tasha's not ready to be honest. Yeah, that's my opinion. Tasha has to accept responsibility and leave her leave her abusive child. How can you expect people to buy the album after you trash the girl for 30 minutes? Well, Phil, child, she told me to go buy the album. I don't know. But anyway, hopefully, child, this is the last time we gotta talk about this situation because I just want Tamika to be quiet. I want her to, and I don't have a problem with her promoting her album, but I want her, and again, I said this 2 weeks ago. She can tell people, look, I'm not answering any questions about the show or about my sister. I only want to promote my album. I'm only here to promote my album. Let's talk about my foundation. We can talk about my cookbook. We can talk about my album. We can play a couple of the songs. That's it. That's all. That's it. That's all. I'm not answering any questions about my sister or the group. And if people don't want to do the interview, then oh well, keep it moving. Um, she needs to try to get on some gospel stations. And I mean, they may or may not want to do an interview with her, but that's where she needs to go. You know, I know me called it, child. I can't believe I was live 3 times a day. Child, I'm about to get off here right now, and I'm gonna relax the rest of the evening. Okay. Candy didn't trash Latasha. Latasha did that all on her own. Candy spoke true facts, and Latasha knows it. Y'all killing me with the Latasha. Y'all are killing me with the Latasha, child. It's too late. She's dug herself in this hole, child. It's 245 of y'all. I hope you guys have all hit that like button when you came in. If you didn't, if you could do so right now, I appreciate that. And if you are not subscribed to the channel, if you could please subscribe to the channel. It is what? Free 99. It is a free way to support the channel. Donations are not required, but they are accepted. But I personally, all I need you to do, what? I'm sorry. All I need you guys to do is to I'm sorry, y'all. I just got an alert from my bank that don't look right. Is to hit the like button. What in the world? Venmo. I don't even use. Okay, I think somebody might be trying to hack into my account because I don't even use no damn Venmo. What in the world? All right, I'll look at it when I get off of here. I'm sorry, y'all. Yeah, I don't even use no daggone Venmo, child. I don't know what they talking about. All right. The truth is in the middle somewhere. I don't think it's in the middle somewhere. I think the truth is closer. Listen, I know that you looking at it fairly, and I respect that, but I don't know. Yeah, it sounds like spam because I just checked my account, and like I said, I don't even use Venmo. I don't use Venmo. I have to. I see where that alert came from. Anyway, I'll check it when I get off of here. I'll worry about it when I get off here because Lord knows I don't know where that's coming from. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for being here. The update, I'm sorry, before we get off of here, the update on Bishop Whitehead is I just got a text. Well, at the beginning of this live, I did get a text from Pam. She said that Whitehead has finally left and now they're waiting for security. They did hire security. So there will be security at the church, and that Whitehead did finally leave. Okay. I'm gonna listen to this video that he posted, child. And if there's anything worth talking about, I'll just upload the video. I ain't coming live again. I'm not coming live again tonight. Now I'm telling you the truth. Anything that happened, we just have to talk about it tomorrow. I'll talk to y'all later.